Okay, guys, please confirm if I am audible and I'm visible. Okay. Confirm in the chat so that I can see. Today's session is going to be more towards hands-on. Okay, let's wait for more people to join. Great. Hello, Ram. So let's wait for a few minutes. Today we are going to learn about Helm chart, and we are going to mainly focus on understanding how we can write the Helm charts because that is the most important part. So first, I'm going to show you with a basic example of Nginx how we can write and modify our like we can create our Helm chart. Then we are going to go with a little bit different application. Okay, so let's wait for a few more people to join. Yes, I'm fine, Gunwant. Okay. You welcome, Siddharth. Let me open OneNote also so that I can. And again, I'm saying this is going to be mainly on hands-on basis so that we can directly see how everything works. Hello, Tirumaleshwar. Yes, it's a very good question, Raj. So when we know YAML files, why should we go for Helm charts? Because when we perform deployment using Helm, everything becomes much more easier. You can roll back very easily using a single command. You can roll back to previous version. Version control of your application it becomes very much easier. Like different versions of application you can maintain very easily, and even deployment to different environments that also becomes very much easier. Plus, if you want to modify something in your application, that also becomes very much easier. Okay, I'll show with demo, then it will be much more clear. Okay guys, so let's do one thing. Let me share my screen and then we will see. Okay, okay, please confirm if my screen is also visible to you guys. My screen is visible, right? Okay. So now let us understand about Helm chart, what exactly it is and how it's going to be useful for us. Now, first of all, basic definition about Helm chart. So Helm chart is what? Sorry, give me 1 second. So Helm chart is what? It's a package manager for Kubernetes. Okay. For example, it is also sometimes Helm is also compared to like the in Linux machines we have apt inside CentOS machines we have yum. So those are also package managers similar to that. Helm is also a package manager for Kubernetes, which helps us to build and deploy applications as well as manage applications very much easily. Okay, very easily we'll be able to build and deploy applications using Helm. And some of the best features that we get with Helm is that first of all, easy rollback. If you want to roll back your application to previous version or some changes that you have done previously, you can very easily roll back. Okay, also the screen is hanged or what? Give me a second, guys. Sorry. Okay, so first we have easy rollback with Helm. It becomes very much easier to roll back. Plus everything you can keep in a parameter format. So basically, whatever features your application have, for example, let's say you want to add liveness proof, uh, you want to have resources information, you want to have any other information, it can be done in the parameters form. So later on, if you want to update anything, you just need to update your parameters and it will work fine. Okay. Thirdly, application like multi environment deployment, that also becomes very much easy with help. Okay. So let us directly jump into hands-on to understand very things very much easier way. Okay. Now, first thing that I'll show you. So I have this folder, manifest folder, and inside which, first of all, let me show you the YAML files that we use for deployment. So if you see clearly, we have this file, deployment and service file, where you can see this is the deployment components, and this is the service part of the deployment application. So if I want to deploy this application, you can first of all, let's go through the information that we have inside the YAML file. First, we have name of deployment, then we have number of pods that we want, then we have Docker image that we are using, port that will be open on the container, and the resources like how much RAM and memory that should be available for the container. Then we have service. So here, as you can see, we have defined the service is going to be of type load balancer, so that we can get an external URL to access the application. The port exposed by the service is going to be 80, and the port open on the container is also 80. Okay. Now, if I want to deploy this application using YAML files, I simply have to run the command. I can run. Let's say, first of all, let's say I want to deploy this inside specific namespace. So I can create one namespace, kubectl create ns, and namespace name we can give, like, let's say YAML nginx. Okay. Now let's say I want to perform deployment inside this, so I can run the command kubectl apply -f ds YAML file. Then I want to deploy it inside YAML-nginx namespace. Okay, and it is done, and we can get the deployment details, kubectl get all -n YAML-nginx. Now here we can see that our application is deployed, and we have the load balancer URL. We have 3 pods running. If I want to access the application, I need to go on the load balancer URL. Okay, but obviously this is going to take little bit of time, because when you deploy an application, it takes little bit of time to come into running state properly. So now if I want to access it, I can go on browser, I can put here as this one, and in few minutes it should be up and running. Okay, as I say, this is going to take little bit of time. Okay, so let's wait for it. Now let's talk about, this was the basic deployment which we have done, right? The problem with this kind of deployment is that if I want to modify anything, I need to go to this YAML manifest files. I need to update it. I need to run the command, which is going to update. Okay. If I want to roll back to previous version, then it's not easy to roll back. Okay. Even if I want to delete the whole application, then one by one, each is resource I have to delete. I have to delete deployment. I have to delete service, like that, which is not an easy task. So, to solve all these problems, we have Helm charts for deployment. So basically, Helm, what it does, using Helm chart, whatever application, let's initially we have YAML files for deployment. So using Helm chart, it can create a new package which is known as Helm charts. Helm can create new package that is known as Helm chart, which is much easier to maintain, which is where you can easily perform version control. Okay, and it's much easy to deploy also. So once we have this chart ready, then we can run the Helm command to perform deployment of it. Okay. Now let us understand what kind of chart we'll be seeing. Like when we create the chart, how does it look? What is the structure of that? Okay. So as of now, what I have done, just to show you, I have used this command to install Helm on my machine, on my EKS cluster. Okay. Now one more time, let us see if our Nginx. You can see now Nginx is up and running, right? And now we have done the deployment using this command, normal kubectl apply command, right? Now we are going to perform using Helm. So first of all, I'll come out of this, and now what we have to do, see, in order to create the Helm chart, either you can start everything from scratch, which is going to take a lot of time, or you can create a template. You can create a template, and then you can write things inside the template. Okay. So we are going to go with the second method, where we have to create the template using Helm command. Okay. For that, I can do what I can do. I can go here. I can run the command helm create and the name of the chart. So let's say I want to create a name. I want to give the name as my nginx, and you can see it says creating my nginx. Okay. And here you'll be able to see that there is new folder created my nginx. So we will first go inside this. Now, if I show you the structure of the folder that just got created using tree command, you can see there are these files available. Okay. So let me explain you the files that are available. Okay. So as of now, you can see there are these files created. So let me explain you each one of them. Why do we have these files? Okay. First, we have chart.yaml, which is basically a metadata file. One second, let me expand it. Which is basically a metadata file, which is going to contain information about your project, like description of the project, name of the project, those kind of things. Okay. Then we will be having another folder. This is a folder. Okay. Inside which we'll be having information about the dependencies of the project. For example, let's say I'm using MySQL. So that will be defined inside this folder. Okay. Then we have template. Now template is the most important section of Helm chart. Template, first of all, it's a folder. Inside this folder we have these files, these two files, and then we have the YAML files. Okay. But these YAML files are not written in general format. Generally, when we have to write YAML files, we write in this format, right? You can see this is the general format. But when we have to write YAML files inside templates of a Helm chart, we have to write it in a different format. Let me show you that format. Where is it? Templates. Now, here, this is the format for Helm chart templates, where you'll be able to see that actual values have been replaced with variables, or you can say placeholders. Okay. These brackets that you are seeing, these are placeholders. You can see here, generally the image name was the image that we were supposed to use was nginx latest version. But here, if you see closely, it is written in this variable format. That means it is referring to the image, actual image name has been stored somewhere else. So basically, in short, you can understand in templates format, we have created the YAML files of deployment service and other things in a template format. That means actual values are not added here. You can see uh, here, we did not even define the number of pods. Replica count not defined, name of the deployment not defined, label is not defined. These things are not defined. That means these things are written in the form of variable. So now what we need to understand is how do we write the variable, from where these variable values are coming. So now if you look closely, there are three kind of variable that you'll be able to see. First we have release, then we have chart, then we have values. Rest everything will be repetitive only. Variable names, release, chart, and values. So from where these things are coming, let us understand first that. Okay. So inside the template YAML files, those values that will be coming, they are coming from three kind of variables we are able to see. First we have release, then we have chart, and then we have values. Okay. Now release is the name that we are going to give to our application, whole application. For example, let's say I want to perform deployment of any specific application. So I will run the deployment using command helm install, then name. Let's say I want to give the name as my nginx. So this will be the release name. Okay. And then we have to provide the path where we have the all these files, helm chart files. Okay. So this will be the release. Okay. That means this will be provided at runtime. Then we have chart. Chart value will be mentioned inside chart.yaml. Okay. Then we have values. So values will be defined inside a separate file known as values.yaml. Okay. Now this will be more clear once we do hands-on. So I will show you literally writing everything hands-on. Okay. Now let us understand a few more files that we have. Then we have notes and helpers.tpl. Now notes is basically a file where you define instructions that are supposed to be followed once deployment has been done. For example, if let me show you can see this section notes.txt. So here what are the instructions? that after deployment is done, you have to get the application URL by running the command. Okay, these things. Then we have helpers.tpl. So basically inside helpers.tpl, we define reusable functions. For example, if I show you, 1 second, where is it? Here you can see multiple places we are using this release name, chart name, right? So instead of writing it every time, what we can do, we can create a reusable function, something like this. And next time, whenever I want to use this one, instead of writing this every time, I can simply write nginx dot full name, and this will be working in that way. So basically, in helpers.tpl, we can write reusable functions. Okay. Now let's do one thing. Let us write everything from scratch, and let's see how we can write the whole YAML file. So this is my general YAML file, which we use for deployment. Correct? Okay. Now let's start writing this from writing the Helm chart for this. Okay. So first of all, what we have to do, as you saw, I ran the command helm create my nginx, right? Which created a template for me to modify, right? And here I can show you we have all these files present in tree structure. I can see, you can see these files are present. Okay, one more thing I did not explain about the test folder. What do we have inside test folder? So let me tell you that as well. So inside test folder, there will be separate kind of YAMLs. What kind of YAMLs they are going to be having? So basically, our actual application deployment exists inside templates, right? Deployment in service and everything. In test, there will be separate YAML, which is going to be another, you can say, pod. Why we are writing configuration for this? Because this pod is supposed to check the application or run testing on application. Let's say our application pod is created, and I want to check something, so I can execute those commands from this testing pod, and then I'll be able to check if it is working or not. For example, let's say we have a MySQL pod created. So inside test folder, we'll be creating a, let's say I can create like busybox pod, and inside that I can define you are supposed to run or execute command on this pod, testing that MySQL is running or not. So those kind of testing we can do using test folder inside that. Okay. So let's start writing everything. So first of all, what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove few things which we are not going to need right now. So first I'm going to remove the charts folder. Okay. Then I'm going to remove notes and helpers, because initially we should be trying to write the basic. Then only we should move to complex one. So I have removed charts folder. I'm going to remove now notes folder, notes file, and then I'm going to remove the helpers. Okay. This is done. Now, inside that, there are other files also, deployment, HPI, ingress, service, service account. These also I'm going to remove now, because we are going to create our own. So I'll remove sorry, let us go inside template folder first. And now let us remove deployment file, service file, service account file. We have HP also and ingress. Okay. And I'll remove the test folder also. Okay. And now we are left with, sorry, let me come out of this. Now we are left with these files. These three files are available now. Okay. So let us write the Helm chart. So initially we have this YAML file. We need to convert this into Helm chart. Okay. And as I told you, there will be certain values which we have to convert into variable format. Okay. Now, how do we know that which values we have to change? So, you know, the values for which we have to write the placeholders are going to be the values that are kind of things that may change. For example, currently, let's say I have this Docker image, nginx latest. It is possible that if I'm working with a real application, that at some point Docker image may change. The version of the Docker image may change. That means this value can change, right? Similarly, we have resources. Initially, we have defined that initially the application, our pod application should be able to get 64 MI and 250 M CPU. But at some point, if there is overload, we might need to increase these values, right? That means even these values can change. Okay, so you can understand that these are the values that can change, right? Similarly, let's say we have a service. So inside service, initially as of now, we have written service type as load balancer. But it is possible that if you are working with ingress, then I need to change it to cluster IP, right? That means this can also change. Again, we have port. Port is what? This is the specific port that is exposed by service. So this is completely up to us what we want to keep the value. That means this is also changeable, right? So these are certain values that are changeable, and that we need to write that we need to convert them into placeholder format. Okay, so now let me show you. Let me create Visual Studio side by side so that I can write and I can show you. 1 second. Sorry. Okay. So side by side, I have opened this, and let us write things. Okay. As I told you, there will be total three variables that we need to use. Three kind of variables: values, release, and chart. Release where we can use. Release basically we can use in the name of resources. For example, we have nginx deployment, nginx service. So I want that this name should be same as what I'm. 1 second. This should be same as whatever the release name that I want to give. So I have to write here in this format. Okay, and inside we will go to space. Make sure to put a dot. Then first word should be first letter should be capital, which is going to be release dot name. And now it is going to refer to the whatever release name that we provide. That is done. Then we have to change the labels. Now remember that this name and label, they are optional kind of thing. You don't have, it's not mandatory that you have to change. I'm just changing so that I can show you. So now I'm going to change the values. I'm going to change the values of app label as per our requirement. So that I'm going to change in this format. And this I'm going to put the name as dot chart, so that this value can be fetched from the chart.yaml, and here I can write name. Okay, and same thing I can write for other places also, wherever we have labels defined, and here also, here, and we have here. Done. And here what we have to add, nginx service, we have to add this part, release name. I can copy that and I can add it here. Okay, so release and charts values we have updated. Now let's start by changing the replicas, because number of pods can change as per the requirement, right? So here, first of all, on the right side, I'm going to create the, because three variables I told you: release, chart, and values. So release name, this variable name is going to be fetched from where? This variable name is going to be fetched from whatever release name we provide. Chart name is going to be fetched from the chart.yaml file. Then third is variable. So from where the values kind of variable will be coming. So for that we have this file values.yaml. Okay, so now we have to create values.yaml. So first thing that I'm going to create, which is going to be replica count. Now if you look closely, first letter is small, and in between if you have another word, that is going to be big, like R is small, C is capital. Now here the value that I want to give is going to be 3. Okay, this means that we want 3 pods for the nginx. Next thing that I can write, now here we have to add the variables. How we can do? First add placeholder, these two brackets, then dot, and now from where this value is going to be coming from, values.yaml file. So we are going to write values v capital dot, then how we have to refer this, we have to refer by replica count. Just make sure that spellings are correct. Okay, and now this value, the values of replicas is going to be 3, because it's going to fetch from values.yaml. Okay, okay, one more place we had this one. 1 second, let me add this here, because here also we have app. Okay, next thing, this is done. Next we have to update the image name, because that also we want that it should be in template format. So how we can write that? So for that I'll go to next line, and here I'm going to write image colon, go second line, press tab so that you have this spacing. Then we have to write first repository. sorry, repository. Okay. What is the repository name in our case? This is the repo name and this is the tag. Okay. So repository name is going to be nginx. Tag we have, tag is going to be latest, right? One more thing, if you want, you can add. It's not mandatory, but still I suggest to add, which is going to be pull policy. In pull policy, what do we have to write? And one more thing, you'll be able to notice first letter, as I said, always small. Here also, you can see first letter small of pull. Policy is another word, so P is going to be capital. Now, pull policy, basically here you can mention if you want to pull the Docker image every time. Okay. So I'm going to write a condition here if not present. That means it's going to pull Docker image only if Docker image is not present. Okay. So now we have defined for image also. So how do we write here? We have to first write placeholders, two space, go in between dot, from where we have to fetch the values. First we have to see, we have to write the value in this format, right? Nginx colon latest. This is the format, right? How do we write it? So we have to write it in this format. I'll go here. First I'm going to write the repository. So that will be values dot, see here I need to reference image. So how we reference repository, how we can reference values dot image dot repository. That's what we have to write. So here first values dot image dot repository. Okay. Now this is basically what we have written. This is, we have written that this is going to be that repository name. But after that tag also we have to write. Let me one second, let me expand it a little bit. So here now put a colon, then placeholder, two space, and here we are going to again refer values dot image. This time we are going to refer tag, image tag, right? Image dot tag. Now this is done. But the thing is, you can see the formatting has been a little bit different, right? So we need to make sure that they are together. So we are going to put quotes beside them. We are going to include them inside quotes. This is done. Now we have written the, this much we have written. Now we have to write, because as I said, resources can also change. Like we can at some point we can decide, okay, we need to give max more number of RAM and CPU. Okay, so how do we write that? Let me show you that as well. Okay, so first I'll copy this whole thing, put it here. Okay, now make sure indentation is correct. So first I'm going to go here, tab, same thing for this. This should be, sorry, this should be below request, tab. Then same for this, this should be on memory level, this should be on request level, and this should be here, correct? Now for them, see, in values we have defined whatever values we want. Now we have to write it here. How do we write it? So you can remember, this is a my values.yaml file. How do we reference it? So I'm going to reference by writing this values dot resources dot request dot memory. So if I write this thing, to whom it is referring to? It is referring to memory part. You can understand that part, right? From here to here we have to go, resources dot request dot memory, right? And values, why we have to write? Because these values are stored inside values.yaml file. Okay. Now let us write this. So I'm going to here I'm going to first create placeholders, right? Delete the values inside it. Then we are going to put dot values dot resources dot requests dot memory. Okay, now you can see the values we defined were enclosed in double quotes, so we need to make sure that we are putting quotes here also, because if not, then Kubernetes might face issues. For CPU, how we are going to write? So I'll copy this part, paste it here. Instead of memory, now we can write CPU. Okay, so this is done. Now for limits also, similar kind of way we have to choose. For example, I'll show you. I can copy this, write it here. Now here, instead of request, we should be writing limits, correct? Similarly for limit CPU, you can copy this part, put it here. and here we can write CPU. Okay, so now we have written these things also. Now coming to service, what things we have to define? So now we need to tell to our values.yaml file that now we are going to write the things or values for our service. So I can write service colon. First thing that I'm going to write inside service is the service type, because as I said it could change. So I can write type, and type I need to make sure that service type is of load balancer. So I can write load balancer, right? Next thing, port information. Two ports you can see here, port and target port. Target port is the port open on the container where the application is running inside the pod, and port refers to the specific port that is exposed by the service. Okay, so here I can write port colon 80, and this is going to be target port colon 80. Right, now I want few of them to try write the value first. Uh, like here, what we are going to write instead of load balancer. First of all, we need to do this. But I want to write few of them. Whoever wants to write, just write it in comment. Just try, because I have explained you how we can refer to load balancer. I will type values dot service dot type, and that will replace put the value of this one. Okay. Anyone want to write in comment section? Just for practice. It's not just like nothing is going to check. You can just practice it. Okay. Okay, let me just write it. So I can write in this format. First dot capital V values dot service dot type, and now it is referring to this load balancer. Similarly, for port we can write uh, dot V capital values dot service dot port. A good one, Ranjit. Good one. Yes, yes. I hope it's clear now. So now, see, I hope like you are getting the point. Slowly, slowly, you might be able to understand how we are referring the values, from where these values are coming, right? Similarly, you can write for target port also. I can put the placeholders first. Dot values dot service dot target port. Okay, correct. This is written. Now this is our template and this is our values file. So let us put it inside the Helm chart. Okay, so I can copy this all from here, copy this. One thing that we need to make sure that we are checking the indentation. So for that you can just use yamllint.com or any website to check. I can put it here. Okay, uh, we have some error, I guess. Should be correct, I think. 1 second. Okay, let me copy this and let's see what happens. Okay, so here we will go inside the template folder, and here I'm going to create the deployment.yaml. Deployment.yaml. I can put the files here. Okay, YAML file, whatever we have written, I have put it here. Just let me check everything seems fine. Chart.name, release.name, image.repository. Okay, I can save this. Now let's create for service, service.yaml, and I can put the values for service. Can copy service, and let me check everything seems fine. Okay, release spelling seems wrong to me. 1 second. Hmm. Yes, I have corrected. Let me check for deployment also. Yes, here also we have to correct it. Sorry guys. ELESC seems fine now. Let us save this. Okay, so these things we have defined. Now we can create our values.yaml. So I will remove the existing values because it is like very complex. So I will remove this, and now I can create my own values.yaml. vi values.yaml. There are many more things that we are going to explore now, but yeah, let's wait one step at a time. I can copy this. I can put it here. Okay. So now we have created our Helm chart. Okay, this is the basic one. How we are going to deploy this? Okay. So first of all, let me see something. kubectl get all hyphen like get ns. Okay. So as of now, I have done the deployment of Nginx inside YAML Nginx, right? Let's create separate namespace for our Helm chart project. So I'm going to write kubectl create ns, and let's call it as helm-nginx. Okay. Now, how we can perform the deployment using our Helm chart? So I can run the command helm install name you want to give. So I want to give the name as let's say dev nginx. Any name you can give. This is the release name. Okay. Then we have to provide the Adita, which one should be closed in double quote? You are saying, clarify please. Did I miss anything? Yes, if you are talking about the variables that you have written, they should be closed in double, not double quotes. In this one, see, double quotes should be used first of all in resources case where those values are supposed to be populated in double quotes only. There plus when you have values like a Docker image colon repository in the image colon tag. In that case, you have to use. Okay, Helm install dev nginx. Then I want to deploy it inside namespace Helm Nginx. Okay, so I can write -n this and then click enter, and let's see. Once again, Helm install. Okay, what problem did we face? So basically, we did not provide the path of file. Path of which file? Path of the Helm chart files. So they are currently existing in current directory. So I will just write here a dot. Dot means files are in current directory. Click enter, and let's see. Now here, let us explore what things we just got. So we get the information that deployment has been completed, and this is the release name first. Secondly, it has been deployed inside namespace, this one. Thirdly, status we can see deployed revision. So this thing we need to remember revision numbers, because when it comes to roll back to a specific version, because next time if I update something and if I again perform the deployment, then here revision will be showing 2. Now if I want to roll back to version 1, then I can simply specify revision 1. Okay, and here test suite none, because we have not added any test code suite. Now what we can do, we can check the status kubectl get all -n helm-nginx, and here we can see deployment is running, right? But again, for everything to come up online, we need to wait for some time. Okay, let's wait for this to come up online so that we can confirm if the application is running or not. So I can copy this command. This is the load balancer URL which on which our nginx should be running. Previous version nginx is running here, which we deployed directly using manifest files. Second one, we can see here. We have to test for some time, because this application takes little bit of time to come in online state. So we have to wait it. Meanwhile, if you want, you can check the status of, you can check the logs of the pods just to confirm that nothing is having any kind of issues. If I copy this, put it here, -n helm-nginx seems fine to me. Okay, as I said, just be patient. This takes little bit of time to come into online state. You can see now it is online. Okay, that means our deployment is successful. But wait, there are tons of more things that we need to learn now. So now I hope everyone is clear how we should be writing the uh, Helm charts, right? Basic thing everyone has knowledge now, right? Now let's talk about some few more things. Let's say I want to roll back, right? Okay, So first of all, there should be few commands that I'm going to tell you now that you should be knowing. First thing, I can run Helm list, which is going to show me what are the deployments, what are the Helm deployments we have done using Helm. Here you can see there is no value showing up. Why? Because I search for Helm list in default namespace, but while our deployment has been done in which namespace? Helm Nginx. Okay, and here you can see we have done the deployment with the release name Dave Nginx, right? Now let's say I want to modify something. So what I'm going to do, I'm simply going to modify my values.yaml. I go here, I tell that I want to have replica count instead of 3, I want to make it 4. Okay, I want to make it 4. I can save this now. I saved this, and now I want to apply the new changes that I have done. So for that, I can run the command helm upgrade. What was the name of our nginx? Deo-nginx. And where are the updated files available? In the current directory, that means dot. Then namespace name we have to give, which is helm-nginx. And let's see. Now here you can see revision 2, right? And now if I check the those pods and everything that we just created, let's get all. Now we'll be able to see that there are 4 pods now. That means application has been updated. And now let's see the command to roll back. Now I want that in previous version we had only 3 pods, and I want to roll back to that. So how we can do? So I know I know the revision number in whose changes I want to put. So I know revision number 1. I want to roll back to 1. As of now we are on currently revision 2. So I can run the command helm rollback. What is the name of what is that? Release we have. Release name is if I where is release name Deo Nginx, right? So I can write Deo Nginx, and now I want to roll back to version 1. So I will just write 1, and then namespace information, which is Helm dash Nginx. Okay, you can see rollback was success. Happy helming. And now, if I check the number of pods right now, we should be seeing only 3 pods. You can see only 3 pods are available now. Okay, so rollback is this easy in Helm. You see, you can see how version control is being done, how different versions of application is being maintained. Easily you can switch between different versions, right? You can roll back to previous version as per the requirement. Okay, now let's say that there are a few other commands also that you should be knowing. For example, let's say if I show you, see, already we have seen that we have defined number of replica counts to 3, right? So let's say I don't want to modify my values.yaml file, but still I want to increase or change the number of replica. So for that, we can do this command helm upgrade this, and I can put -set. We are basically providing the values at runtime. So here I will write replica count equal to, let's say, 4. So now it's going to increase the number of replicas to 4, and let's see what happens. You can see revision 4 we are now. Okay, uh, we are revision on 4, and now if I check the command kubectl get all -n helm -nginx, how the values file is getting input to manifest files using values variable. Exactly. Yes, Aditya Vardhan. So see, through 3 variables we used. First was release, second was chart, third was values. So values will be fetched from values.yaml file. Release will be fetched from this release, this command that we run while running the deployment, creating the deployment. We ran the command helm. We ran like helm install, then a name we gave, which was our release name. So from here release name was given. For example, here if you able to see the name of pods, you can see initially we have release name Dev Nginx, right? So values will be coming from values.yaml, release name will be coming from release name that we provide at runtime or execution time, and chart will be taken from chart.yaml. Okay, now let's talk about how we can perform deployment to different environments. Okay, also before that, you now see how we can upgrade the deployment, right? Let's say I want to uninstall everything, I want to remove the deployment. So in case of YAML files, we have to manually delete things, right? Service, we have to delete other things. Here you just have to run the command helm uninstall uninstall dev dash nginx hyphen n, and we have the namespace name was helm dash nginx. Now you can see deployment is removed, release has been removed, and this is, you can see, you can understand how easier it becomes. In a very easy way, we can delete the deployment also, delete the application deployment and all the resources along with it. Right. Now let us understand a scenario where I want to perform deployment to different environments. Right. So if you want to perform deployment to different environments, what should be the scenario? Scenario should be like that. Let's say for our dev environment, I want to have replicas 2. For Q environment, I want to have replicas 3, or these are will be the changes, right? I want to have different things for different environments. So for that, what we can do, we have these files, right? Values.yaml. So first of all, I'm going to create 3 values.yaml. First is going to be dev values.yaml. Okay. We have one values.yaml, which is dev values.yaml. Then I want to create another values.yaml, which is going to be qa dash. Okay. Now we have two values.yaml, dev values, qa values, and let's create one more thing, which is going to be for, let's say, prod that dash values dot yaml. Okay. So now we have 3 kind of values.yaml file. Now we want to make changes inside this. Okay. First of all, I'm going to modify dev values. Here, let's say I want to keep the replicas to 2. Okay. And I will save this. Then I want to modify qa, where I want to keep the replicas to 3. I can save this as well. Then I'm going to modify this one, where I can make, yeah, 4 is fine. Okay. Now let's say I want to perform deployment. I want to perform deployment to different environments for the same application. So basically, since we have used parameterized format, so here we can see the template can be same. Different things that we can do is create different values.yaml file, provide different kind of values, different kind of resources, information, and then we can perform the deployment. Okay. So for that, let us create 3 namespaces. First is going to be kubectl create ns. This will be dev. Then I want to create for qa. Then I want to create for prod. 3 namespaces we have created. Now let us do the deployment. So I'm going to run the deployment like using helm install dev nginx dot -f. Now we have to define which specific YAML file I want to use. So I want to use first for dev YAML, and that should be deployed inside namespace as dev. So if I run this, because the deployment is done, this is for dev, and now I want to perform deployment for QA. So here I'm going to use QA YAML file, and name of the release we can change to QA. This is done. Similarly, we can do for prod also. Prod namespace values file that I want to use, which is going to be for prod. Then we can provide the name also as prod nginx. Now we have done the deployment. We have, yes, Kapil, I'll show you in a minute. First, let's see. So as of now, what we have done deployment to 3 different environments using the same uh, Helm chart, but different values files, right? So if I want to check the details, kubectl get all hyphen n dev. First in dev we can see, in dev we have just 2 pods, correct? While if I want to see the details, if I want to see the nginx deployed inside qa, we can see there are 3 pods, right? And in prod there should be 4 pod, because that's what we set up, right? You can see there are 4 pods in prod. So you can see how easier it becomes for in order to deploy applications inside different environments also. Okay, so let me remove this because it's going to take resources. So I will run the command helm uninstall dev-nginx -n. It should be dev. Then for QA also let me do. Then for prod also I will do. Okay. And you can see installation, deployment, how easier it was done and how easily we deleted all those also. Okay. So this is also done with using only the Helm chart. And now I hope that it's clear how easy it becomes, how easier it is to work with Helm charts. Okay. I have not taken any complex application, basic application only I took just to show you. Because complex I have shown a full stack application I have shown in my course. Also, team, make sure to check out. Link in the comment section. So our course has just started. Immediately you get access to everything, and like everything is very deep dive. Everything. Even we have done multiple projects. Ultimate mega project we have done, which has everything including SSL certificate. We have ingress created. We have volumes created for persistent of data. Helm chart for mega project I have created. Then I have shown also how to write the YAML manifest files for from scratch and how everything gets connected. Everything is shown properly. So yeah, if interested, you can enroll. All the details will be in the comment section. You can enroll from there. Immediate access you get to all the content. Okay. Now let's take questions if you have any. Okay. Yes, Kapil, still you want to see the YAML manifest files? Just confirm so that I can show you. Also, guys, I'm planning to start or create a separate Telegram group and a Discord server specifically for just for people who are part of these live sessions on YouTube as well as on LinkedIn. I'll create by tomorrow or today. I'll create something and I'll share the links, and I'll try to keep the links within like just within the people who are part of this course. Sorry, part of this live sessions. Okay. Do let me know what you think about it. Yeah, this is the course links, details, and everything will be available. You will be able to get in the comments, or you can simply go to devopshack.com and there you'll be able to find the uh, latest course and you can enroll to that. Okay. Now, any other questions, guys? You can ask now. We can take questions. Hello, Rahul. How are you? Please make a video on Helm file and its template. Sure, bro. I'll try to make it in later on. Not right now, but later on I'll try to make. Okay. Okay, explain which directory I'm working. One second, let me show you. So yes, currently I just created. You can work in any directory. You just have to create a folder. For example, my nginx is the folder where I have kept all the files. If I show you the files here, you can see these are the files that are currently existing inside my nginx folder. Okay. So one more thing I'll show you, team. This is actually, you can see here the cost is going too much for me because I have created the EKS cluster, multiple virtual machine, everything is up and running. So it going quite high. Okay. So whenever you are working or practicing, make sure that whenever your task has been done, you update the you sorry you stop the machine or terminate it. Content in chart.yaml. So yes, for sure, Kapil, let me show you. This is the sorry chart.yaml you are saying. One second, let me show you. Chart.yaml basically is going to contain information, or you can say it's a kind of metadata for your application that you are going to perform deployment. So here we have information like API version, which is the API version for Helm charts, name, then description, okay, and other things you can add here. But it's basically a metadata, so I did not modify it anywhere. Okay. Explain if directly you're working or I'm a bit confused with that and which tool you use. I'm not sure, Rahul, if you are joining right now or like if you're joined the session from the beginning. Confusion, troubleshoot is there and pre-recorded. Yes, Santi, troubleshooting is also there. Plus, there will be more videos uploading continuously. Rest one-to-one doubt support is also there in the pre-recorded batch as well. And plus, here in pre-recorded batch, after 1 month, we'll be doing live projects. The projects I have already added multiple projects, but there will be more projects that we are going to implement live, so that it will be giving you very good learning opportunity. It will be like a crash course where you can see all how all the tools are getting integrated. Rahul, then you can ask question, because you can ask clear question, then I try to answer. So we are using EC2 machine from where we have already created our EKS cluster, and I have I'm using Helm tool. That's all. And another thing, you can create any directory. You can keep you have to generate the file. I have shown in the beginning how you can generate the template. You can generate the template using the command Helm Helm create the package name. Okay. Also, team, one more thing I'll show you. So there is one more command. You can see we have MindGenX. So there is one more command which is Helm package. Sorry, MindGenX. Now, if you see here, there is a tar file has been created. This is going to be the Helm package that we can upload somewhere on some kind of repository, and then it can be shared. Okay. So Helm is quite useful. Like Helm, using Helm, you can create your own package and you can share it to anyone. Okay. And this is the command that we use for it. Helm package. There are many other commands also. For example, we have Helm lint nginx. So Helm lint, basically what it does, it's going to perform linting on your files. See if what kind of issues are there in the file. Those things also are available. Vishnu size. So Vishnu, as I said, keep the files. Kapil, you see almost like I try to do live sessions on daily basis on LinkedIn as well as on YouTube. All the videos will be available in the live section of YouTube. Plus here also, whatever live session we take, it will be available. So I'm planning to create two things. First, a separate Telegram group, because I don't want to make the Telegram group overcrowded. I just want to make it available for people who are part of these live sessions, and I'll be sharing the link to them only. And plus there will be separate Discord server where everyone can communicate. Even I can also connect there sometimes, or like over audio session, so that we can have interactive sessions. Okay, I'll create one for both these and I'll share. We'll see how we can share it securely, because again I'm saying I don't want to make it crowded. I want people who are really interested in learning, and it's not key only I will be the one who is sharing things. You guys also can share good things so that everyone can learn. But yeah, that will be exclusive for people who are part of our live sessions. Okay. Any other questions, guys? You can ask me. Or one more thing I'll tell you, this is costing me a lot, because this live session that I'm doing. So if I take, I'm using a third party software for this. And if I take the subscription for a year, it's going to cost around 35,000. So I'm a little bit worried about that as well. Okay. Plus this AWS cost is also going a little bit too much. This month I have to pay around 200 or almost something, it seems. Okay. Meanwhile, as of now, Kapil, we have not created a group, but we'll be creating it. Any other questions, guys? If you are having, you can ask me now. Okay. Noah has one question. What if this is a production application in production environment? Do we write Helm files like this, or any automation tool is there? Even see, direct tool is not there, but you can use ChatGPT to convert. But again, it's better. See, because if you are going to work as a DevOps engineer, my suggestion would be that you should learn to write. That's what I was trying to teach. How to write values.yaml file. Those things are more important when you're creating your Helm project. Those things are more important. Okay. So yeah, there is no specific tool, but you can use ChatGPT to convert. That can also do. There will be some little bit of mistakes, but you have to correct it. Hello, DevOps. Any specific questions, guys, you are having? Azure free portals are not opening. Not sure about what is the benefit apart from pre-code. We see more different. See, even if you join my live session or the pre-recorded, everywhere you get one-to-one support. In pre-recorded, the thing is that you get immediate access to all the content where you can start learning, implementing things, and start preparing immediately for interviews. Rest, once you're prepared, once you have interview schedule, you can connect to me. And yeah, live session cost is little bit more. Recorded, I have kept little bit less. Okay, any other questions, guys? If you're having. So it was very helpful. Thank you, Noah. And I'll try to share. Okay, let me do one thing. So just okay, let me understand, because I know I'm trying to understand like how exactly I can share you the links to join Telegram group. I want to keep it private. Just very clearly, I'm that, because I don't want to it to be very crowded where people just continuously ask, ki, do this, do that. No, very clear who people who are interested. And Kapil, you can run the command helm create a name of your any name that you want to give your Helm chart. You can give just 3 words command helm create so and so. That's all. Then you have to modify the files. Okay, I'll see. Yes, you can use helm command. Okay. Kumaran, you can contact once you are enrolled in the course. You can contact to me. We are using OpenShift for deployment. All I see are environment files, but I can see Helm deployments in Jenkins jobs. See, at this point, I'll tell you very frankly, after certain years, you won't be seeing many people who are doing deployment directly using just the kubectl command. Most people will prefer to use either Argo CD or Helm, because these two options, these two things are providing very good option and very good way to manage your deployments also. Okay. Yes, guys, any other questions you can ask? I hope the session was useful. I'll try to let me create separate. Okay, I'll try to do one thing. Maybe in next session or in the comment section of the post that I created for this live session, I'll put a Telegram link. You guys can join. So whatever I teach here, I'll be posting the posting the links of those live session, the whatever files we use in that separate group. I'll be keeping. Okay. Okay, guys. Any other question? You can just shoot here, and we can take that. Okay. Yeah. For those who are really interested in learning, you can just check out the course details. You can just go to devopshack.com. There you'll be able to find. And yeah. So see you tomorrow. Any suggestion you want that you want to learn any specific thing tomorrow? I can set it up. See, I'm not going in complete detail on these live sessions because it will take a lot of time. So I'm trying to make sure that the core concepts of every tool that we have, I'm trying to cover those initially. Later on, we can go in more detail, but initially that is more important. Okay. Any specific topics you guys want me to cover? Do you want me to cover Tomcat? I can maybe I was planning to perform deployments and everything on Tomcat server tomorrow. Do let me know in the comment section of this session is set itself. Okay. So yeah, that will be all for today, guys, and I hope this was useful. So thank you for joining. Really thanks. And yeah, see you tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Thank you.